Prepare yourself, for you are about to embark on a journey through the most haunted places on earth. As we delve into the realms of darkness and the unknown, tread carefully, for the spirits that dwell within these haunted locations will test your very soul. Deep within the heart of Philadelphia, a formidable fortress of despair awaits. Welcome to Eastern State Penitentiary, where the echoes of anguish reverberate through its cold, desolate halls. Eastern State Penitentiary is known for its harsh conditions and notorious inmates. Visitors and employees have reported various paranormal experiences, including hearing disembodied voices and whispers, witnessing shadowy figures moving through the cell blocks, and even feeling cold spots or an oppressive atmosphere. Some have even claimed to have seen the apparitions of former inmates or guards roaming the halls. The Eastern State Penitentiary is a former American prison in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is located in the Fairmount section of the city and was operational from 1829 to 1971. The penitentiary refined the revolutionary system of separate incarceration, first pioneered at the Wall Street Jail, which emphasized principles of reform rather than punishment. Notorious criminals such as Al Capone and bank robber Willie Sutton were held inside its innovative wagon wheel design. For their role in the Calairies Massacre of 1934, James Bruno, known as Big Joe, and several male relatives were incarcerated between 1936 and 1948 before they were paroled. At its completion, the building was the largest and most expensive public structure ever erected in the United States, and quickly became a model for more than 300 prisons worldwide, which is open to the public as a museum for tours 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Japan is known for some amazingly terrifying horror movies like The Ring, Battle Royale, and a few others. So it may be no surprise that Japan, Tokyo in particular, is home to pretty terrifying ghosts and haunted buildings. The Osaka Weekly Mansion is arguably one of the creepiest and most haunted places in Japan. The weird thing is that nobody really knows why. There have been suicides and a couple of unexplained deaths that happen frequently in the city the size of Tokyo. Osaka is unsettling. Visitors have reported seeing figures at the foot of their beds, white mist blowing through air vents, and unexplained temperature drops, while other visitors reported feeling someone or something stroking their hair while they slept. The scariest one of all is one guest reported being dragged across the room by her hair by some unseen force. There were also scratches all over her back the next day. The Osaka Palace, or known as the State Guest House, is one of the 2 state guest houses of the government of Japan. The other state guest house is called Kyoto State Guest House. The place was originally built as an imperial palace for the Crown Prince, Togo Gasho, in 1909. Today, the palace is designated by the government of Japan as an official accommodation for visiting state dignitaries. Located in Moto Osaka, Minato, Tokyo, the building took its present function in 1974, having previously been an imperial detached palace. In 2009, the palace was designated as a national treasure of Japan. Through the economic revival of the country after the Second World War, the Japanese government established a state guest house. The former residence of Prince Osaka, currently Tokyo Metropolitan Taian Art Museum, has been used as a state guest house, though it was too small for that purpose. It was decided in 1967 to renovate the former Osaka Palace as a new state guest house. The renovation was led by architect Togo Marino. It took more than 5 years and 10.8 billion yen and was completed in 1974. Regent Crown Prince Haruhito resided at the Osaka Palace from September 1923 until September 1928, 2 months before his coronation. The move was intended to be temporary, but lasted 5 years. During the renovation of his contemporary residence, Haruhito intended to lodge temporarily at the Osaka Palace, moving in on August 28th of 1923. 4 days later, Japan was hit by the Great Kanto earthquake on September 1st. During his residence in Osaka Palace, Crown Prince Haruhito married and fathered 2 daughters, Princess Sasakyo, who died at the age of 6 months, and Princess Shigeko. Many believe that this property is cursed and the deaths that happened there were part of this said curse. Poveglia Island, Italy. From the depths of the Venetian lagoon emerges Poveglia Island, a place shrouded in darkness. Once a quarantine station, now a haunting reminder of suffering and despair. Poveglia, Italy, is a small island located between Venice and Lido in the Venetian lagoon of northern Italy. A small canal divides the island into 2 separate parts. The island first appears in the historic record in 421 and was populated until the residents fled warfare in 1379. For more than 100 years, beginning in 1776, the island was used as a quarantine station for those suffering the plague and other diseases, and later as a mental hospital. The mental hospital closed in 1968, and the island had been vacant ever since. Because of its history, the island is frequently featured on paranormal shows. Visits to the island are prohibited, but various books and articles, as well as reports on visits by writers, authors, or photographers, have been featured. Believers in the paranormal have claimed that Poveglia is the most haunted island or the most haunted place in the world. Poveglia Island has a chilling reputation due to its history as a quarantine station and mental asylum. Visitors have reported hearing screams and cries echoing across the island, seeing shadowy figures lurking in abandoned buildings, and experiencing a deep sense of unease. There have also been accounts of disembodied voices, objects moving on their own, and sudden drops in temperature. In the mystical lands of Rajasthan, Bahar Fort stands a testament of a curse that refuses to be forgotten. Within its ancient walls, ancient spirits and spectral whispers await those who dare to enter. The Bahar Fort is a 16th century fort built in the Rajasthan state of India. The town was established during the rule of Bhagwant Das as the residence of his second son, Madho Singh. The fort and its precincts were all well preserved. The Bahar Fort is located on the border of the Sariska Reserve in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. The nearest village is Gola Ka Bas. The fort is situated at the foot of the sloping terrain. The ruins of the king's palace are located on the lower slope of the hills. Trees surround the pond area, and a natural stream falls into the pond within the premises of the palace. The fort is located 235 kilometers from Delhi, and the approach to the entrance of the gates and the fort is at least 2 kilometers that stretch off the road is unpaved. The fort is 20 miles from Thanagazi. The nearest airport is Jaipur International Airport, which is about 88.2 kilometers from the fort. Bahangar Fort in Rajasthan, India, is surrounded by airy tales and legends of curses. According to legend, a sadhu lived within the fort area, and according to his injunction, any house built in the precinct or the fort should not be taller than his own, and if the shadow or any such house fell on his house, it would result in the destruction of the fort town. When columns were added to the fort, cast a shadow on the sadhu's house. The rest was destruction of the fort surrounding the towns. According to another tale, a priest who was a practitioner of black magic fell in love with a beautiful Banhagar princess with many suitors. One day, the priest followed the princess to the marketplace and offered her a love potion. However, she refused it, throwing it onto the large rock that consequently rolled onto the priest and crushed him to death. Before he died, the priest cursed the entire village, condemning it to destruction and desolation. Visitors have reported hearing strange sounds like footsteps and whispers, feeling a sense of being watched, and encountering apparitions of soldiers and princesses. Many have experienced a feeling of dread or heaviness while exploring the fort, and it is said that the paranormal occurrences are particularly intense after sunset. Leap Castle is a castle in Kildare, County Offaly, Ireland, about 6 kilometers north of the town of Rossera and 10 kilometers south of Kinnity on the R421. There are varied accounts as to when exactly the main tower, keep, was constructed, ranging anywhere from the 13th century to the late 15th century, around 1250 AD. It was built by the O'Banion clan and was originally called Liemhu Banian, as was the fertile land around the castle, which was associated with the Bannon clan, or the Leap of Banyans. The Bannons were the secondary chieftains of the territory and were subjected to the ruling of the O'Carroll clan. There is evidence that it was once constructed on the same site as another ancient stone structure, perhaps a ceremonial nature, and that the area has been occupied consistently since the least of the Iron Age in 500 BCE, and possibly since the Neolithic times. Leap Castle's tumultuous history and violent past have led to numerous ghostly encounters. The most famous spirit associated with the castle is the Bloody Chapel Ghost. It is said to be the apparition of a murdered priest and is often encountered near the chapel. Visitors have also reported unexplained cold spots, disembodied voices, and the feeling of being touched or pushed by unseen entities. As we draw near to the end of our journey, remember that the chilling tales of Eastern State Penitentiary, Pavilia Island, Bangar Fort, Leap Castle, and the Osaka Mansion are but a glimpse into the mysterious and outworldly. These haunted places stand as testaments to the enduring power of the supernatural, where the past intertwines with the present in ways that defy explanation. The echoes of the tormented, the whispers of the forgotten, and the lingering presence of the departed have left an indelible mark on these places, drawing in the intrepid and the curious. But be warned, for the line between the living and the dead blurs within these haunted realms, and those who seek to unlock their secrets do so at their own peril. Thank you for joining me on this harrowing exploration of the most haunted places on earth. As you step back into the realm of the living, remember that the echoes of the supernatural linger on, waiting to be encountered once more by those who dare to seek them out. you.